We get huge reports that the top prospect, not in North America, Michkov, is signing with the Philadelphia Flyers. And we get a report that the Toronto Maple Leafs are interested in Chris Tanev if the Dallas Stars cannot work out a contract. We'll get into that later on this episode. Before I start, I just want to say to 3,600 of you guys that are subscribed, if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, make sure to go down and hit it. We're trying to reach 4,000 before July 1st when free agency opens up. So if you don't want to miss anything happening during free agency into next season, make sure to go down and hit that subscribe button. We'll be all season long giving you updates from all around the league. Now with that, let's hop straight into the first topic today, which is Michkov joins the Flyers. Now, this is a huge report coming out in the NHL news today. Obviously, Michkov is the top prospect, not in North America, and the Flyers might have got the steal of the draft at number 7 with them. You do see that Denny Breer came out today and said the Philadelphia Flyers were informed today that Michkov was released from his KHL contract with SKA Hockey Club. We're certainly excited to learn the news on this and looking forward to reconnecting with them and the representatives in coming days. They appreciated the SKA St. Petersburg for allowing him to pursue his dream of playing in the NHL, and this is just amazing news for Flyers fans. That's going to change quite a bit for the franchise going into next season. Now, obviously, if you don't know who Michkov is, he was the 7th overall pick in 2023. A lot of teams passed on him after they were worried that he wouldn't come over. He would spend too many years in the KHL, but just at the age of 19 years old, we see him get bought out, heading over to Philadelphia to change and become this new cornerstone piece for the franchise. We see him dominate at the age of 19 in the KHL, 19 goals, 22 assists for 41 points in the 47 games he played. The biggest thing with this is he's playing against former players that might come over at some point. He's playing against the top of the top in Russia and in one of the most dominant leagues, not in North America. We see him dominating at such a young age, and seeing him come over at 19 is going to be game-changing. We do see that obviously with him 19 years old, 5'10", 176 pounds, he's a left-handed shot playing on the right wing. He's a triple threat winger. He just can contribute with his puck skills near the top of the draft. He's amazing with the puck, scoring, skating, everything you can think of. If you want to pause and read the little brief preview on the draft guide on the bottom, you can. But this guy is going to be the real deal, and Michkov is going to make a name for himself immediately. Flyers fans, be excited. For all the other teams that kind of passed up on him at pick number 7 because they were worried about this, they're going to regret it. I mean, you look at this Flyers team, they still have young pieces to just kind of get Michkov in with. You have guys like Farabry. You have guys like Owen Tippett. You still have veterans like Sean Couturier. You have guys to build around, continue to push. We've seen the Flyers be a team that looked like they were going to make the Stanley Cup playoffs last year with the first year under Torts. It seems like this team is going to continue making that push, and Michkov's only going to make things so much better for this team on the offensive end. Obviously, we do get some quotes from himself coming out of the SKA. He says, after much thought, I decided to try my hand in the NHL. I would like to say a huge thank you to SKA management for being cooperative in this matter. I immediately outlined my position that I wanted to play in the KHL only for SKA. No exchange, no loans. I will make my way to the NHL, but if I return to the KHL, I will play in St. Petersburg. And this is just awesome to see that he's just kind of committed to this team, but he wants to make the NHL. And the big reason why he wants to make the NHL, and he explains himself here, the decision was not easy, but I feel like it was the right one. I am full of strength and desire to prove my worth playing there. In addition, there was a long-time dream of my father who did pass. He said he really wanted to see me debut in the NHL, and for me it's extremely important to take this step. Also, for the sake, I'm sure he would support me on this. This is just awesome to see this 19-year-old wanting to just follow his dreams, his father's dreams, be committed to the team that signed him, which is the Philadelphia Flyers, who drafted him when a lot of people were wary of him, afraid to take him in the top 6. As I said, these teams are going to regret this. This guy is the top prospect, not in North America. He's the top prospect in the KHL, dominating at just 19 years old. He's going to have an incredible rookie season. He's going to battle with some of the top prospects going into this. He's going to look at winning prospect of the year. He's going to make an impact for this Flyers team. And I'm going to get bold here and say it. He's going to win rookie of the year, and he's going to help this Flyers team make the playoffs, and he's going to be their most lethal offensive piece in this run. But what's your guys' thoughts on Michkov? Are you excited for him to come over? Are you happy that he came over a lot sooner than people expected? If you're a fan of a team that didn't draft him, are you regretting this, and are you a little worried that he's going to be completely dominant out of the gates? Let me know down in the comments about that. Let's hop straight into the second topic today, which is the Leafs interested in Chris Tanev. Now, obviously, there were reports coming out about Chris Tanev from Pierre LeBrun. The Stars remain in talks with pending UFA Chris Tanev, trying to make it work. Obviously, a huge market for him should he get to Monday's market opening, including interest from the Leafs. Now, obviously, the Toronto Maple Leafs are in on a lot of players as we see Brad Treliving kind of revamp and wanting to make this vision of a hard team to play against, and Chris Tanev is the exact piece he needs. Obviously, Chris Tanev, being 34 years old, is getting into the later stages of his career. We've seen him play majority of his career with the Vancouver Canucks before going to the Calgary Flames, being traded to the Dallas Stars where he played 19 playoff games, and now he's hitting the open market. The biggest things that I want to look at with Chris Tanev is 1, him being from Toronto, Ontario. 2, the man that traded for him on the Calgary Flames, the man that signed him to his contract on the Calgary Flames was none other than Brad Treliving, who is the Leafs general manager. Chris Tanev's a guy that had 174 blocks this season. He's a guy that can still be productive for you. Obviously, he's not going to go out and score 20 goals for you, but he's going to be the shutdown defenseman you need. A shutdown defenseman that's going to help in playoff runs, going to help in the regular season. He's a warrior. He battles through everything. And in my opinion, this is the exact piece the Toronto Maple Leafs need to play with Morgan Rielly. We've seen Morgan Rielly throughout his tenure play with just a handful of players. We've seen Ilya Lyubushkin being one. He's had some reps with Mark Giordano, TJ Brody. All these guys are not signed. Obviously, we've seen Jake McKay play with him, Timothy Liljegren, Connor Timmins. We've seen so many players just in the past few seasons, and if you want to go back even further, you can think of guys like Cody Franzen. These guys have played with Morgan Rielly, and he's never had the complete shutdown top 4 defenseman like Chris Tanev could bring. This is a guy that can help Mo kind of open up his explosiveness on offense. Again, we've seen him kind of slow down on this end where he needs to pick up defensively, but allowing Morgan Rielly to open up the ice, skate more, take more pinches, and have that stay-at-home defenseman to slot in where the Leafs don't have a top-handed right defenseman. And if you don't want to count Jake McCabe as a right defenseman, they don't have a right defenseman at all signed other than Connor Timmins on this roster. Now, obviously, you need to think of contracts. You still need to bring guys back like Timothy Liljegren. TJ Brody's a piece that may come back. Joel Edmondson. We have Mark Giordano, who said he wants to continue playing for a couple more seasons, even at the age of 40, turning 41, before the year starts. It's going to get interesting. My biggest worry with Chris Tanev would be term. Obviously, if you can bring Tanev in on a cheap deal, $2.5, $3 million, $4 million, which might seem unrealistic with so many teams showing interest, including the Leafs, as I said, bringing a guy like Chris Tanev in for a cheap deal is going to be hard. But if he wants to play home, if he wants to play for his hometown, if he wants to return to Brad Treliving and management, he can do this as well. But the Leafs might have to pay quite a bit of money for him. And at the age of 34, it does get a bit scary. But what's your guys' thoughts on Chris Tanev? Do you think he fits perfectly within the system? Do you think he fits good with Craig Berube's system? Do you think he fits with Morgan Rielly? Let us know down in the comments. And how much do you think he would get if he hit the open market and the Leafs did make an offer for him? But with that, let's hop straight into the third topic today, which is everyone's favorite comment of the day. Comment of the day today comes from Robert Paul, and he says, reminds me of the Buffalo Sabres every year a former Sabre wins a cup. Sorry to tell you, but Reinhart's another guy who scored the winner for the Florida Panthers just last night. But listen, there's been Leafs players on every team, it feels like, that's made it to the Cup Finals, made deep runs. Phil Kessel's the guy that left. We've seen Roberto Luongo. I'm also a Canucks fan, a huge Canucks fan. We've seen Roberto Luongo lift the Stanley Cup. Sadly, it wasn't with the Vancouver Canucks, but in a management role with the Florida Panthers. And OEL's another guy who's on the Canucks cap hit as he was bought out just last season. But what's your guys' thoughts on this? And if you want to leave a comment, you can as well. You could be featured with like Paul did, on Comments of the Day. Make sure to go down and leave a comment, subscribe, share this with your friends. We're going to be here all off season, including all the next couple days where things are going to get quite interesting around the NHL. I think I've seen my phone light up about 5 times while recording this, and I'm sure we'll have another video out tonight. But I've been your host, Mark Pye, and take care.